to the Six and Stone Cigar Podcast. I am your host, Ebony Lincoln, and she is
Tracey Crow.
And we are here to talk all about cigars. We want to remind you to click, like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, if you are participating in this podcast in any way, which means you are probably drinking or smoking, we ask that you do so responsibly. So today, we are so pleased to have our guest, Everett Jolley.
Hey, Ebony.
Hello. Can you kick it off and tell us what you're smoking and what you're drinking?
Today, I decided to go with the AJ Fernandez Cameroon selection.
Okay.
And so basically with this cigar, AJ Fernandez is a savant when it comes to blending cigars and working with the different tobacco leaves from all over the world. And this one particular cigar is actually my go-to cigar for probably the past year and a half.
Okay.
It's a Cameroon wrapper with a Dominican and a Nicaraguan binder and filler. So it's very robust, a lot of flavor. The Cameroon wrapper is actually out of Africa.
Okay.
And it gives it a fruity, floral note to it.
Nice.
So it's really complex. I would not recommend this for a novice or a new cigar smoker. When we talk about cigars, we tend to talk about two things. We talk about body, and we talk about flavor.
Right.
The body of a cigar is basically how strong it is. A full body cigar, typically, I tell people, make sure you eat.
Right.
It's going to give, it's going to have a lot of nicotine content to it. So it's going to be really heavy as far as how it affects you. The flavor part of it is really that part that I really get into, and that's the nuances. And this is a medium-bodied, full-flavored cigar.
Yes.
And I'm pairing it with Old Faithful out of Kentucky with a reserve.
Yes. You're talking to two Kentucky girls here. Yes. Hello.
Technically, this is a salad, and this is my bread.
Okay. All right. I've never heard that before, but I like it.
So this comes from a green leafy vegetable.
Salad and bread.
And my drink is the bread, so I'm eating healthy.
I love it. I love it.
I'm eating healthy.
Tracy, what are you smoking?
You know, I actually had this cigar gifted to me by a good friend. It's actually a Dominican cigar. It's a limited gold edition. It's La Jara. It's a full to medium body cigar. I like it because it finishes with a spice to it. It's laced or filled with cedar and leather.
Okay. All right. And
Sounds tasty.
Does that meet your expectations?
Absolutely.
Did it pass?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
so I am smoking an LFD double Lajero.
Okay.
With the chisel tip.
You better roll that R.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. So this cigar is a 6-inch. We didn't talk about this. 54 ring gauge. You'll
Ring
have to
gauge,
talk about
right.
that a little bit when we
Okay.
get into
Yeah,
it.
I need to come back to that too.
Wrapper is from Ecuador.
Okay.
The binder and the filler are from the Dominican.
Great
The
combination.
thing I love about this cigar, I've probably smoked it a few times, but it's the kind that just kind of sneaks up on you.
That would be called a full
body, absolutely.
full flavor.
This is
and
medium
a lot of that comes from that Ligero
Yes.
tobacco, which Ligero, and it's actually it's the very top of the tobacco plant.
Yes.
So if you understand how the tobacco plant works, your lighter flavored tobacco leaves are at the bottom of the plant, and then you slowly go up to the Ligero, and then actually the top of it is actually called the Corona, which is used for flowering. A lot of times in tobacco making factories, they actually cut the Corona or the crown off.
Yeah.
And it promotes more flavor and more nutrients and water and everything from that soil going up through that plant.
Love it.
Yeah. Yes. Tell us about your business. Tell us the name of it.
Okay.
And also tell us a little bit about all of the services that you provide.
Okay. Well, I actually wear a couple of different hats when it comes to the cigar business. The first one is just simply a social website on Facebook in which we're called the Cigar Crew Nashville, and we were derived from the Cigar Crew Memphis.
Okay.
And basically, it's a social group to keep cigar smokers connected with different events and different activities. If there's a new cigar launch that's coming out, we tend to get first dibs on that type of stuff. And currently, I think we have over 2,000 members. They're not all locally in Nashville. They're all over the nation. And the Cigar Crew brand itself is probably in 25 to 30 cities across the nation.
Okay.
Awesome.
But my new business venture,
Tell me about it.
the new business venture is Cultured Cigar Concierge. And
That's what I'm interested in.
yes, that's the business that we just started in October. We've been doing very, very well. And we have a couple of different verticals that we're using, that we're focusing on. The first one is cigar inventory management.
Okay.
So basically, if you have a venue that wants to get into the cigar smoking arena and they may not know how to do it, we actually service them with the inventory of cigars, restocking of cigars, humidor purchasing, humidor maintenance. We actually do training for staff if necessary. So all of my different partners, we're all certified cigar sommelier tobacconists at the very least. So we went through a lot of certified.
Tell us what that means.
Certified basically means that we've gone through training to know what we're talking about. Cigars and wine are the only two things that you can actually get certified to be a sommelier.
Okay.
And with cigars, it's a strenuous certification. It's a lot of information. And it's basically a culmination of all the things and experiences that I've learned of smoking cigars.
How many partners do you have?
I have 3 partners.
Okay.
It's myself.
Okay.
We have Ryan Nelson, who serves as our...
Shout out to Ryan.
Ryan Nelson. He couldn't be here today. But he is our CFO, so he handles all the finances and business development.
Gotta have a CFO.
Gotta have it.
Somebody gotta be taking care of the money.
We have a marketing director who is basically the nuts and bolts of what we do. His name is Jason Martin.
Okay.
He currently is in Memphis.
All right.
But he still communicates, and we still work with him as far as getting our branding out, as far as paraphernalia, glasses, masks, whatever you need, whatever we're trying to do. And the 4th one is Julian Griffin.
Julian.
And Julian actually is the owner of Battleground South in Columbia, Tennessee.
Nice.
And he works with us as far as getting our cigars, getting them in, and really understanding the business. We've all smoked cigars for several years, and it just worked and came together.
We want to help our fellow sisters that may not be smokers but want to be. Maybe they feel a little intimidated by it. What are a couple of tips that you would give somebody that wants to become a cigar smoker?
I would tell, if I had to give like 3 tips, I would say 1, don't inhale.
Thank you, because you will make yourself what? Sick.
We say when we do our classes that when you inhale, you will die. My second tip is don't rush.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea of cigar smoking and the luxury of cigars is not the cigar that you're smoking. It's actually the time that you have to smoke the cigar. That's the luxury. Because you can go and make more money and buy more cigars, but you can't make more time.
Yeah.
So when you have a cigar, and that's why it's really key, again, for new cigar smokers to know how long a cigar takes to smoke.
Yeah.
Typically with this is a Toro. It's about 7 inches, about 46 gauge. So with this, it normally takes me about 2.5 hours to smoke. So I really take my time. I'm not rushing because why? I mean, I'm here to enjoy the cigar.
Right.
And the last piece goes back to the etiquette, Tracey, that we was talking about before. Just to know the ins of it. Take your time to understand the etiquette, understand the community, the culture of cigar smoking. There are a lot of little nuances to how you smoke. Like you don't want to ever blow smoke in someone's face. That's just rude.
That's bad etiquette.
You want to try to make sure that you, when all possible, you want to ash in an ashtray.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it sounds simple, but it's a lot of things that people just take for granted. And, so, just don't be a chooch.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite word.
I like that.
A chooch.
Yes. I love it.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Don't be a chooch.
I like that.
So, getting back to women and all of that sort of thing. So, a lot of people like to suggest that women should smoke a flavored cigar.
How you feel about that?
Well, personally, I never use gender-specific nomenclature when it comes to cigars.
Okay.
Like it's no such thing as a female cigar. I tend to say flavored or regular. I try to never bash anyone's cigar. You know, different people have different palates,
Right,
and different development, and they're in a different journey. I certainly wouldn't recommend what I'm smoking to a new cigar smoker.
right.
Smoking 26 years, smoking as long as I have. I've had a lot of different cigars, and my palate is developed. My palate is very complex. What I would suggest if you're getting into it, male or female, doesn't matter. Go with a good quality cigar.
Okay.
Like what?
Try to stay in that price range of $8 to $12.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is that if you get a cheap cigar, then it's going to leave you with a bad experience.
Headache.
Yeah, you get a headache. The flavor may not be there, and it just might not be a good smoke for you.
Right.
But don't jump into a $20 or $25, $30 cigar either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because your palate won't be developed enough to really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to start people out on a Connecticut wrapper cigar, which tends to be a lighter body, a lighter flavored cigar, and just let them learn how to cut, how to properly light, and how to properly smoke it. In our classes that we do with Cultured Cigars, that's one of the things we focus on. We're not just going to throw you into the wolves and throw you to the sharks and say, hey, you need to smoke this Maduro or this Habano. We try to start out with a Connecticut-style cigar to really let them appreciate it.
Right.
And then once they appreciate it, then they can start the developing of the palate and jump into the La Auroras and the LFDs and the AJ Fernandez, and then they'll start venturing out. It's kind of it's exactly like wine.
Yes.
Like you didn't start drinking a $30 bottle of wine. You started on Boone's Farm.
I did.
Everybody,
I did.
$2 shot.
I did, and we'll do it again.
Right.
And still will.
Right, and you start at that level, and you just slowly build up, and you start, and then you eventually get to the point where, like, oh, let me get that cab, let me get that Pinot Noir, let me get that Malbec or whatever you're drinking, and it's the same with cigars.
Maybe we should move to the crow's nest.
How do you feel about having one of your male friends or female friends? Well, no, male friends. Date somebody you used to date.
For most men, we know within seconds, what type of woman we're dealing with.
Okay.
And that determines.
Let me drink on that.
That determines our approach. I'm sorry, guys. I'm giving the sauce.
Come with it, Mr. Jolly.
Let me get my cigar.
So for me, I have 3 categories.
Okay, 1.
I have wifey.
2.
The 2 would be boo.
3.
And 3 is jump off. You know, when you meet a woman that you think...
Got me biting my nail.
Wifey is that one where you know you got to come with your shit. With your A game.
Your stuff together.
Your stuff together. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
You got to come ready. You got to make sure that that you're prepared for whatever she's going to get back to you. That's a woman of status, maybe a woman of means, and you know that because you know where you are when you met her. You know who she was with when you met her, and you know where you are. So how you approach that woman is different from how you approach, let's say, category 2, which is a boo. Now, boo may be that that friend that's been around, that you've known, that y'all hang out every now and again.
Mainstay, if you will.
Y'all not dating, but y'all date. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go out. Y'all
it's not defined?
It could be circumstances. It could be, situations.
So she's somewhat of a staple. If you need a date to go somewhere.
She a homeboy.
Okay.
She's a homie lover friend?
No.
He said
a homeboy.
A homeboy. Define that.
Like she's cool.
She's cool. Y'all watch football together.
Right.
Okay.
Y'all may take a cigar in together.
Okay.
I mean,
I was feeling.
I have a question.
Does
she know that she a homeboy?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. In most cases,
how do I go
hold on, Toya. In the back, hey.
Toya.
What I've realized through my experience is that most women don't know where they are. And the worst is when you think you're a wifey, but you're really a jump off, where you're just, Friday night, something to do.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, not an STD. Something to do.
Something to do.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, get your mind right. Get your mind right. It's the crow's nest. Get your mind
something
right.
to STD. I'm looking for one of them.
Okay, wait a minute. So how do I go from stage 2 to 1? How do I go to boo to wifey?
It could be what that man defines you as.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, one's jump off may be another man's wifey.
What I have said over the years is people just need to be honest. And when you're honest about what it is you're looking for or not looking for it, then you might just happen upon somebody that's looking for the exact same thing that you're looking for, which might be a jump off or whatever the case may be.
I think what makes relationships work, going back to what you were saying, is meeting that person at the right time.
Yeah.
A lot of times we meet the right person at the wrong time and it doesn't work out. Sometimes we meet the wrong person at the right time and it works out.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of struggle.
And then that's a mess too.
And that's a mess. It is.
Yeah, it's a Deborah Cox. How did you get here?
Right.
It is.
I fell in love. I don't even know how it happened.
I mean,
Like,
any relationship.
let's not get it twisted. A jump off, boo, wifey are all relationships. It's how we relate. And if I think the trouble comes in when someone, either her, him, or whoever, but when a part of that relationship decides to move it to another level without that other person knowing, that's when it becomes problematic.
Yeah.
If we have a cut buddy weekend, I don't see you in the daytime relationship, and you like, hey, let's go out on a date. That's not what we do.
Right. So
that's not your role.
How did she graduate though?
How did she graduate? Exactly. She ain't took no classes. How'd she get?
So question though.
How did you get?
Question though. So we're talking about all of these situations are relationships. Do you not owe, or does she not owe you a certain amount of communication to say, for you to say, hey, I want to take it to the next level, or for her to say that, or for you to even say, hey, I'm not really feeling this no more, or you getting a little bit too close? Is there any required level of communication in those situations?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on that relationship.
If it's a maybe, then it ain't required.
It ain't.
Well, you need to start, just my personal opinion.
Here we go.
She's putting on her counseling hat.
You need to give every woman going forward an exit interview. Proper communication.
I'm not going to do it. Look, full transparency, every relationship I've ever been in, I was the last to know. I was the last to know that a relationship was over.
So would you revisit your past with the past relationship, like 8 years? Okay.
Oh, that'd
so
be
you
a
don't
firm
go back.
no, huh?
So you
Firm
don't
no.
go back.
No do-overs.
If I do, if I would consider it, she has to be extraordinary.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because
extraordinary.
You have to be.
Okay.
Because you don't want to go back and relive those same mistakes and do those same things over. Because, I mean, but it does come to a point where it's like, hey, I know your faults.
Yeah.
I know what I'm dealing with when I deal with you.
Yeah.
And that may be the reason to go back, but I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I think it's time for us to bring this crow's nest to a close.
Thank you, Everett, for being transparent.
Yes.
I am. I'm probably gonna get.
I'm sorry if I
you ghosted me.
Just don't do that again.
I will.
For all those women out there that love you. Wait a minute, before we close, real quick.
I'm sorry,
How
y'all.
has your Corona love life been?
What one?
In the last year.
I mean, I've been virtual dating.
Okay.
Have you?
Yes.
In virtual relationships?
On Zoom.
How does that work?
Teams. What have I been on?
Teams? Not Teams.
What's that?
Microsoft
Teams.
How do you date on Microsoft Teams?
You just set up an appointment.
Okay.
You set up a meeting time. That's your date.
Do y'all set up the attire? Y'all set up the?
Well, I was clean.
You was clean.
Yeah.
You got me stuttering.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
So virtual dating and in virtual relationships.
Have you been on any dating sites? Have you been on what is it, Tinder?
Actually, I just got off all the dating sites.
Finally?
Why?
Finally.
Why?
Yeah.
Tracy, you are wrong. But why?
Wrong.
Why'd you get off the dating site?
What happened?
I kept meeting Tracy Crow.
Wow. You probably
up.
did.
She kept popping up, and I kept
Don't get
swiping
too
right.
close. Don't get too close. You might get burned.
I know. I kept swiping
I had to hop
right.
up off of them too.
Okay, that's good. That's why I didn't get a right
I'm grown
swipe.
And sexy. Hey, this
Okay,
damn
but
time,
I'm not understanding why though. Why did you all get off the dating?
Because I saw the same.
It was tiresome.
It was tiresome.
It was draining. It's that.
And it just.
It's that replenishing thing.
I got tired of trying to look back to see if I matched with somebody, and getting upset because we didn't match.
Okay.
And then too, I need to have a conversation.
Well, too,
Because I don't want to fall in love with just looks.
Right, and I was about to say,
substance.
I think that's a lot to it. Because with Tinder and most of these dating sites that don't like Match is really good about diving into who that person is.
Oh, no,
Okay.
Now Tinder only is superficial what they look like.
Okay. Swipe left, swipe right.
What's the other one? Black People Meet.
Okay.
It's only superficial, so you only get like what that person puts out there.
Yeah, lies.
What about some of the other ones like
Christian Mingle?
No, Sugar Daddy?
Never heard of it.
Sugar Daddy. You was on Sugar Daddy?
Ebony, you are
Sugar
serious.
Daddy.
I am appalled.
Girl.
I'm just telling you what I've heard about.
Clenching my pearl.
I'm touching the snake skin right now.
I've never been on Sugar Daddy. These are just ones that I've heard
That you
about.
heard about.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm
Who
trying
did
to
you hear
think.
this from? I'm just saying.
People that are out
People.
there
Here we
online
go.
dating.
Them, from
some
them, they.
Yes, them,
Them
they.
as in we? As
we
in you?
and us.
But there are others that I've heard about
And
too.
that's how you have rogue relationships.
What is it? eHarmony?
That's how you have
That's how you have rogue
relationships.
relationships.
Okay, through dating sites.
Just turning and burning.
Okay,
If that's
turning
what
and
you wanna
burning.
do.
Okay.
So how would you rate your cigar?
Oh, this is this
Scale of 1 to 5.
10.
A 10.
So this
Wow.
is this cigar is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know AJ Fernandez, but may not know his Cameroon selection, New World,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and the Cameroon wrapper on it is just it's delicious.
Yeah.
And the beauty of this cigar is that most places that I've seen it,
Mm-hmm.
it's been under $7.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's a very reasonable price cigar. When I first saw it, it was like $5.50, and I was like, surely that's not the price. And it was. I picked up a bunch of them, and I really, really enjoyed it. This has been my go-to cigar for probably 1.5 years, 2 years.
Okay.
I really love it.
Okay. Tracy, what would you rate yours?
A scale of 1 to 5?
Yes.
I would give it a 3.
Okay. A 3. Why?
3. Why 3?
It's not really my palate.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
it's full body, which I like. I like
Yeah.
that robust. But I think that the cedar is making
Too
me
much
feel-
for you.
Yeah. a little bit.
Okay. So I would rate mine a 4.5. I love that cigar. I've had it a few times. Yeah. Love it. Well, it's time for us to wrap up Sticks and Stones Cigar Podcast.
Thank you for having us.
We want to, and thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate your expertise. We will certainly have you back.
Oh, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Cultured Cigars, past tense.
I want to remind the folks that are with us and watching us, listening to us, to click like, share, and subscribe to our social media platforms. Also, follow us on Patreon, Sticks and Stones After Dark. If you have been drinking and you have been smoking with us, we ask that you act responsibly. I am your host, Ebony Lincoln.
And I am Tracy Crow.
And we would like to thank you for joining us this evening, and have a good night.